because I'm going to be fully transparent with you. I was hitting numbers that people that have been in the business for like 5 years were hitting. So I was like, why am I hitting the same numbers, the top of the company? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel like I need more competition to like try to beat something. And I know that sounds like, it could sound conceited or cocky or whatever, but like that's how my mind processed it. And I was like, I need to, but then I started looking at other companies and I was like, wait, I still would be top 5 of that company, and not trying to sound like that, but truly I was like, okay. And Rhonda actually kind of pointed that out to me. She's like, Morgan, you're like just doing well. Like that's it. So just like leave it.
This is The Agent Seat, a podcast by Irongate Inc. Realtors. Real stories behind real estate, one conversation at a time.
To start at your journey and how you became a realtor, because I know you took your test a bunch of times, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
About 6 times with real estate when I was fresh out of high school, actually.
Okay.
After I got out of high school, my dad was like, hey, you should try real estate. I think you'd be really good at it. And I was like, no, I'm not doing real estate. And then I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. So I took my test twice, Hondros, when there was one in the area. I don't even think they have one for real estate here anymore. But we like nailed it down. It was my grandma and I that took the test together. She went through it with me together because she used to be a realtor, actually.
Oh,
so she was like, I'll do it again with you. And then we'll both have our license and then we can both do it together until you're kind of established. So I took the test twice. I failed it twice. And I was like, okay, well, real estate's not for me. So I gave up on that, went through college. After college, I just needed like that 9-to-5 job. I didn't care where it was. Okay, I hate this. So then I called Irongate. Like, I wasn't even wanting to do real estate at this point, which is so crazy because out of college, I had a marketing and communications degree.
Yeah.
Irongate, let's give this a shot again. So I took the test 4 more times, finally passed, and here we are. So, yeah.
So first question is,
Yeah.
Did your grandma pass the first time?
She passed the very first
Okay.
time. She didn't even have to take it again. But once she got her license, she actually didn't even like continue with anything.
Yeah.
I think she had him for a year.
Right.
And honestly, at that time, I was way more worried about going out and partying than passing a test. So
Yeah, I
like,
get that.
it was actually funny when we were like studying together, my grandma and I, like trying to get through these, like passing the test.
Yeah.
And she would like, because it was funny how it all worked out because my dad owns a business. So my grandma and I would study at my dad's business, almost like we would go in and that would be everything. That's what we did. Every day of the summer, we'd study for the listing exam. And she would like wake me up when my dad would walk by because my dad paid for my classes. Like, this is a whole thing.
Yeah.
I was not taking it seriously when I was like fresh out of high school.
Yeah.
It was like my first year in college. It just wasn't the right time yet. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get that for sure.
yeah,
I think at 19, that's a lot to ask.
it
to-
is.
It's not like
Yeah.
you just like clock in for a job either.
No.
You are your own business owner,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah,
so.
I was not mature enough.
Yeah.
And I wanted it so bad then, but obviously not that
Yeah.
bad if I wasn't willing to give
Yeah.
up. But yeah, for sure. It's definitely something you have to be very disciplined in, for sure.
Yeah. And why do you think that it was difficult for you for the test, for other people that are watching?
Yeah.
Was there like, do you have any tips or?
Yeah, I mean, I would say I just never, and I hate using this excuse, but like I just never grew up like the smart one in class, or I never had good grades. I like think I got only my name right on my ACT. So and that is all to prove to you that I'm still doing well in real estate. So it has nothing to do with the tests. But as far as passing the test, when I finally passed it at the end, first of all, I'm going to shout out Prep Agent. That's what got me to pass. And I literally reached out to them. I was like, hey, let's do a brand deal because I talk about them all the time. They're like, no. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. That's literally what got me to pass. And I was studying for my exam like it was like a job to me. I was like, I am passing this. I do not care how long this takes me. I am passing it. Another thing I did when I finally passed was the last month I was studying, I deleted all my social media and completely stopped going out with friends. Like I was like, we are passing this month. And so I think it just really, if you're like me and you don't test well or whatever that is, I think it's just really like buckling down and being like, okay, we got to get serious. So.
And I think that really speaks to your growth over those couple of years of like getting rid of all social media for a
Yeah.
month and just buckling down.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And also it's kind of like, when I first took my test, I was like 19, 20.
Mhm.
And then when I finally took it and I passed it, I think I was like 22, 23, maybe. I don't know if that math's correctly, but I was, it was over a few years. And, you get to that point where you're like, we're out of college. I'm working a 9 to 5 job and I hate it. So what am I going to do about it? Like, I can either sit here and keep working a 9 to 5 job I hate, or we can buckle down and figure something out. So yeah. I agree.
Yeah. And then how did you end up at Iron Gate if you weren't looking into being a realtor?
Yeah.
I'm just confused.
How it all worked.
Yeah, how did the story go?
So when I got out of college and I was just looking for anywhere 9 to 5, I did have real estate kind of in mind, but like I didn't care if it was real estate. It was just like my dad told me I'd be good at this, so like let's try it.
Mhm.
So I started cold calling, which is so funny that I was not a realtor, but I was cold calling all these businesses, and I was like, hey, I'm just looking for like an admin position, something low key. I'm fresh out of college. Home services title was hiring at the time. So that's where I started. But at the same time that I called them, I called Iron Gate, and Bill Rogers is a recruiter at Iron Gate, and he answered. He said, we do not have a position for you right now. Nothing was open. But then a year later, he had saved my number and he called me back and he was like, hey, are you still looking for a position? I was like, yes, I hate working in title. I don't know what I'm doing. I was like, yes, I'm looking for a job. So I interviewed the next day and got hired on at Iron Gate just in the administrative position. And like I said, I still at that point wasn't like, I want to be a realtor. It was just it kind of fell into my lap that it was at Iron Gate. So the fact that Bill Rogers called me back was the whole reason I'm here at Iron Gate, truly, because it could have been any other brokerage to just call me back for an admin position. And that's probably where I would have, grew my real estate business.
Yeah.
So
then when you actually did become a realtor and you were already at Iron Gate, were you considering other places, or you were just like, this is my home, I'm going to stay here and see where it takes me?
When I first started, I was like, this is it. Iron Gate is it. I'm not moving anywhere. When you start doing more numbers, you start questioning, should I go somewhere else? And I don't know why that kind of question comes into everyone's head. Almost I don't want to say you get too big for your britches. Oh, I need to move. I'm doing more numbers. But that did come in my head. And I'm just kind of okay, should I go to another place where, because I'm going to be fully transparent with you. I was hitting numbers that people that have been in the business for 5 years were hitting. So I was like, why am I hitting the same numbers? I feel like why am I already the top 5 of the company? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm I feel like I need more competition to try to beat something. And I know that sounds it could sound conceited or cocky or whatever, but that's how my mind processed it. And I was like, I need to, but then I started looking at other companies and I was like, wait, I still would be top 5 of that company, and not trying to sound like that. But truly, I was like, okay. And Rhonda actually kind of pointed that out to me. She's like, Morgan, you're just doing well. That's it. So just leave it. I'm like, okay, got it. So the support that Iron Gate gives me, I don't think I'll get anywhere else. I truly don't think that. And I don't say that because I'm paid by Iron Gate. I just truly believe that. I just think that we have good systems in place for supporting agents, truly.
So what are some of your favorite systems?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good question. I would say that every office has a manager, every office has an admin, and we have every office.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I do not want that. Yeah. And I also tribute a lot of my growth in business sitting as an admin, doing my 9 to 5 job simultaneously with my real estate business. I was hearing other agents in the office, how they were handling a situation, how they were handling a deal, or they would just come and talk to me about it. And just hearing that, I learned so much. So I believe that being in the office, having a manager that you can call at 10 o'clock at night when you're like about to, have a meltdown is so helpful. I don't think a lot of offices have that. So, and I think we have a good manager mentor program as well. So,
Yeah, I would agree. I think from everybody that I've seen, I feel like I can call them, like you said, like at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I'm not even a realtor, but I feel like I could still call them and be like,
Yeah.
I need help with this. And they're going to answer the phone and come and help me.
Yeah. And it's not like, oh, sorry, I'm off the clock. You know what I mean? They're like, truly, what do you need? You know? And yeah, I mean, people say, oh, it's like a family here, but I feel like you could get that family feel wherever you go, truly.
Yeah.
But like, they're not like acting, oh, we're off the clock at this point. We're always here. Everyone's always here. So I like that.
Yeah. I really like that we have the offices too. I hear, especially like you know, and not to be offensive at all, but you're just loud.
I'm very
you know
loud.
that.
I'm very loud. Yes. And it's not offensive. I've always gotten told that. I'm just loud.
Your office is like directly across the hall from mine. So I always hear when you're in there and people come in and ask you questions and I can hear you answering whenever you're in there.
Yeah.
Like the seasoned agents.
I love answering questions and I don't always have the right answer. I'm like, this is how I do it. I don't know if other agents would do it, but I truly think that is like the biggest point of learning is just sitting in the office and hearing how other agents do things. I think if you discredit being in the office because that's the old school way, I think you're hurting yourself in the long run. Yeah.
And I really like that you bring that up, how you can be speaking to clients on the phone.
Yeah.
And you're speaking one way and we all hear you, but there's really a lot of other stuff going on behind the scenes here.
Yeah.
So how difficult can that be sometimes to like keep your composure?
Yeah. I think this is something I'm still learning. You know, I just hit my 5 years in real estate, and I think at a certain point you kind of are like just trying to juggle, okay, how do I get all the clients? Okay, I have clients. How do I be a better realtor for my clients that I have? Okay, I'm a good realtor. I have all the clients. How do I grow my business? Because now I have to hire an assistant because like I'm not able to give the best service to my clients because I'm now overwhelmed. So I think over the time you start building all these things and then you're like, okay, like I have to get back down to the basics. And I don't know, it's just an overlonging process of like, you're just trying to get the clients, you're just trying to grow your business, you're just trying to be a better realtor. And I think that people don't realize that it's like a business too. It's not just like, I'm selling you a house. Like, you have so many caps, like you wear so many hats is what I'm trying to say as a realtor. So the keeping your composure part, like I just think comes with time. And I'm still learning that truly. But I think, one way you talk to your clients, you know, if it's an educational form or if it's in a more sympathetic, like they need you here right now. They don't care what you're going through. You know what I mean? Like it's really up to, you know, how you're handling their deal. So it can be emotionally draining, but you know, we just go through it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think as somebody on the outside, I had no idea how much it is. Like you guys are business owners and how many caps you do have to wear. You just assume like, they're coming in, they're going to set up the photos, they're going to deal with the mortgage people, and then we're going to just sign and get the keys to the house. Like, but there is so much that goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah, and it's so much more emotional. And I think that's a big thing that people don't realize about real estate. I mean, take the entire business side out of it. The emotion that people carry when they're selling a house or when they're buying a house, and they're pouring that emotion on you. And also, not to say, when money is involved, you see a completely different side of people. And I don't mean that in a mean way. It's just true. Money means a lot to people. So there's a stress involved, and it could be, you know, your friend that you've always, you know, known for years, and they're acting completely different in a real estate transaction. Yeah, and that's a good point that I just think people don't think about with real estate. And I just feel like I always sit here and question, like, how does Rhonda do it? Like, I just feel like she takes emotion out of it. And I'm like, I wish I could do that. And I don't know, maybe that's just something that comes, you know, with time. But like, I think she's very just like, how do we get to the end? Like, how do we point A, point B, put it together? And I'm like, oh my gosh, so tell me what's going on. So I think like it may be, you know, you could do a little bit of both. I think it's okay that your clients, like you have that emotional like connection with them, but at the same time, like you're here to get a deal done, not to be a therapist. And sometimes we fall into that position of therapy.
No, I can totally understand that.
Yeah.
I think you definitely do have to realize that most people, when they're buying or selling their house, they're going through some kind of thing in their life.
Change.
Some kind of change. So it is more than just purchasing a house
for
or
sure.
selling a house.
Yeah, for sure.
But I like that you brought up too, because I get the same kind of feeling with Rhonda whenever I'm with her, where it's like, this is the problem at the end, and she like works backwards. Almost, of like how to solve from the end problem. I don't know.
I've never realized that.
An interesting way that I think her brain works there.
I mean, she really does. Like we whole podcast on Rhonda Chamble on like how she operates, running a business. Literally, I mean, running her personal business, running Iron Gate, selling like $45 million a year. That's like what teams do. Yeah. Whole podcast on her.
I know. I sat with her yesterday and I still don't understand how she doesn't have like a transaction coordinator or anything. That just blows my mind.
Literally. And I even, when I was like hiring Morgan as my assistant, I was like, do I actually need this? Like Rhonda can do it. Do I need this? And I'm like, I actually want a life. Like I have to have a life. And I'm sure Rhonda handles it well. Like she has her life. She's just been doing this for so long. It's just like a cakewalk to her. I'm like, I'm literally gonna have a mental breakdown.
I was gonna ask you how it's going. It seems to be going well on social media with Morgan.
Yeah. So it's going well. I mean, really, really great. She's been with me for, I think, 3 months now. I needed just an extra set of hands for, I don't know, just like showings or, when I'm doing showings, someone to write an offer for me or just someone to help me like take a little bit off my plate. I think the breaking point for me that always like pops in my mind was I had a night, we had friends over. It was a Saturday night. They all came over at like 6:00. I just finished showing houses at like 5:30. My husband had to get everything together as far as like food and whatever we're doing at the house, clean the house up. And I came home. They all came in. I said hi for a quick couple minutes. And then I had to go upstairs and I had 4 offers to write. And I was bawling my eyes out. Like just having a mental breakdown because it's not just like, oh, let me throw the software together really quick. It was like every person had like, it was a unique situation. Well, can we add this to the offer? And like, how do we, and everyone's situation is important. But to me at that time, I was like, I literally cannot handle this. And yeah, I had an actual mental breakdown. I was in our bedroom crying, sitting there and missed the entire night with friends. And at that moment, I was like, I have to have help. Like I can't do, also my clients are not getting the service they need. You know what I mean? So that's kind of that point where I was like, yeah, let's hire an assistant. Let's try to find someone at this point.
So how did you go through the process of finding Morgan? Did you just like pick her because her name or
Bro, literally? That's been such a thing. Like I'll text in a group message and I'm like, hey, Morgan's gonna do this. I'm like, I'm not talking about myself in third person. My assistant's name is also Morgan. Like I have to let people know that. Morgan, literally, I am being so serious. People know I'm strong in my faith. I like prayer is literally how Morgan came to me. So I had hired 2 assistants before her and just like, it just wasn't working. It just was something with the personalities or something about like, I also know that like people are wanting to build their business too. And like, I would love to help you build your business, but like I need help. So it's like, I can't pour into somebody for them to be like, okay, I got everything. Now I'm going to go and do my thing. It's like, no, I literally need help. I would love to help grow your business at the same time. But like, this is where we're at. So I did have a couple people I trialed before her. Well, I hired them and it just didn't work. And then so I just like gave up on it. And I was like, I guess it's not time for me to have an assistant. I'm, if the time came and someone came to my, landed at my feet and I'm like, this is literally it, then we'll do it. But right now I'm not looking anymore. And then Morgan actually went to Beaver Creek. So that's where I went to high school. She graduated the same year as my sister-in-law. And Morgan was at Coffee Hub one day doing a video. And I was like, what's this girl doing? And she's like, she's also a realtor. I'm like, oh yeah. Is her name Morgan? I'm like, so I kind of knew of her. And she was like, you know what? I bet she'd be a good assistant. And I was like, well, and I saw that she was on a team at the time. I was like, she's got it all figured out. I'm like, she's on a team. That team does great. I'm like, she don't want to work for me.
Yeah.
And then she also went to my church. So I was like, I stopped her at church and I was like, hey, how do you like real estate? She's like, it's not for me. I was like, let's get coffee. So, and then after the first meeting, I was like, this is it. But after every other assistant that I hired before her, after the first meeting, I'm like, this is it. So I'm like, I don't trust myself. But after just like, I don't know, a week or two, I was like, we're just trialing this. I'm only paying by, hourly, nothing serious. I don't even want you to quit your job. And then I was like, okay, quit your job. Like, okay, what do I need you to do to get into this position now? So, and then that's how that went, how that planned out.
Yeah.
So,
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So did she have a full-time job somewhere else or was she a full-time realtor somewhere
She was a full-time realtor.
Okay.
And then she was doing marketing for another team.
Okay.
And well, not another team. I'm not a team, but she was doing marketing and was a full-time realtor for a team in the Dayton area. She just wasn't really selling much real estate on her own. So she also wanted to learn like more about just being a realtor in general because she was doing more social media posts and wasn't really leaning into that like realtor side of things.
So she's a licensed agent then.
Yes.
So are you like mentoring her? Are you guys going to be a team eventually, or where do you think that's going to go?
I don't know. I think it eventually have to be a team. I am mentoring her. I mean, truly. But right now we're just taking it one step at a time. I don't know where we're going from here. She just is so good. She truly is. Like, she knows how I would answer something. She knows how I would think about something. And she just picks up on that very well. She's kind of quiet. And I think that balances us out because I'm very much like, I'm in the room. And if I had someone else that was like, I'm also in the room, I'd be like, hey. Yeah. So, and she's like, she's more quiet. She likes to be with someone that has a big energy. And we balance each other really well. But truly right now, like, I kind of explained it that she helps everything before it gets under contract. And then she helps once things close. So while things are under contract, I do have a transaction coordinator. So I have like 2 girls that help me, but she helps me show houses. She helps me write the offers. She helps me with closing gifts. She helps me with some of my social media posts. The volume does come in, and at some point it's like, am I going to be able to handle this all by myself with just her assisting it? Or am I going to have to be like, this is now your client? Like, okay. You know what I mean? And I don't know when that comes or what that looks like in the future, but right now it's working really well and she's killing it. So, yeah. And she's still not allowed. She still can do her own real estate as well. So we're not a team. It's literally just like she assists me. That's all. Because I know a lot of people kind of get that confused. But if she ever gets a client, she's more than welcome to do her own thing as well. But yeah.
So as far as teams go, because I don't really know the process of that. I don't know how much you do either not being on a team.
Yeah.
But when you're on a team, how does that work for like sales and stuff? Do you guys do you like take each other's clients more and help, or how does that work?
I think everyone's structured differently. Okay. I truly don't know how it works exactly, but what I've heard is kind of like if I brought in a lead and say I give it to Morgan, I would get a certain percentage of that lead that I gave her. But then if she brought a lead and then it's like maybe I get less of a split because that's her lead or whatever that is. Okay. I think that's how some teams structure it, but I'm just going to go off of like vibes. Like, honestly, I think Morgan and I have such a good relationship, but everything's business. You know what I mean? We have to be smart about it. But like, I just want things to be fair. And I don't want ever like her to bring a client and me be like, okay, well, now that's mine. Like, that's your first client you got, dude. Like, dude, you know what I mean? Let me know if you need help. I don't know. So, but we'll see when the time comes.
I'm excited to see in the future and see where that takes you.
But I know. Yeah. Yeah.
And I love how you brought up at the beginning about your dad and how he has a business, because I see him on your social media posts and stuff.
Oh, he will love to hear this. He loves being on my social media. He eats it up. That's where I get it from.
What business does he have?
So he owns a construction company. He does residential renovations, and then he also does apartment renovations, but that's nationally. So he has crews that travel. But yeah, and then he used to be a builder and built homes, and he also had his real estate license. And then in 2008, when the market crashed, is when he stopped being a builder and then started getting into like apartment renovations, and he had to pivot at that point. So yeah.
So does he come in at all for like maybe not inspections?
Yeah.
Or does he do? Okay.
Yeah. So he's not an inspector, but he'll come in and try to he'll do some of like my quotes for me, or he'll do a repair. But I always like complain to him like, you're expensive. No one else is this expensive. But he's like, I'm also like, he does large scale renovations for when I'm like, hey, I need this exhaust fan. He's like $200, and I'm like, let's do it for 50. So I get why he's charging me that, but so I don't use him that often because I'm like, you're too expensive. Sorry.
Does he work with other realtors, or is it really just because you're his daughter?
Yeah. Okay. So he doesn't really do like the handyman jobs. Like, it's truly renovation. So like if you want your kitchen completely ripped out and put back completely different, that's what he does. Like crawl space repairs, or he would if I'm like, please give me a discount. Like, he knows how to do all of that, but that's not like his thing. And I don't think he wants to work with realtors in the sense of like, send me your inspection report. You know what I mean? He wants to do like new builds and renovations and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Okay. And we kind of touched on this a little bit, but how do you, when I've spoken with you before, you have, I think, some good guardrails around your personal time.
Yeah.
From what I've heard. So how do you kind of manage that, and how did it evolve over time? Because I'm sure at the beginning you're like, I have to answer every single phone call, and you might feel like that still now.
Yeah. So I would say in the beginning, there were guardrails or what? I don't know. Guardrails were nothing. I answered every call. I would leave dinners to go show houses. I would leave birthday parties to go to a listing appointment. Like, it did not matter. And I think that's okay to an extent when you're new in your business. Like, that's what makes people like, oh, I got to work with her. Like, she's quick, she's on it, all of those things. So I think that that's okay in the beginning of your business. And you're also probably not doing, 20 deals in a month to where you're leaving every dinner. You know what I mean? It's probably once in a blue moon. So I think that's okay. But the more I evolved, I eventually had to put up guardrails. The turning point for me was I was at a family photos. We were all having dinner, and I got a call, deal was falling apart. My client was freaking out, called me. I want to speak with your manager. It was just this whole thing. And it wasn't anything that I did wrong. It was just like he was upset and wanted, another person to verify that this is what's actually happening right now. So I'm freaking, like, I'm a mess. And I think my emotional capacity has gotten a lot better over time as well. But at this time, I was not doing well when he was calling me. So I literally had a meltdown. Well, little did I know those family photos were my proposal for my wedding. Oh. So I was crying. I was like, let's just get these freaking photos done. I don't care. Well, then my husband walked out and to propose. And I'm like, and I was in such a mood. Everyone knew I was in a mood because the real estate deal. And I'm like, real estate just ruined my proposal, truly. And I don't like to say that because I'm like, did it ruin my no, it didn't. No, it actually did. Because after that, instead of me being excited that I just got proposed to, I'm calling my manager to make sure that the deal got taken care of and she was able to talk to my client. And this is not my client's fault at all. It really isn't. It was truly how it all lined up. If he would have called me any other night, I would have been able to handle it a lot better. But I told my manager, I proposed to, and also my client needs to talk to you. And she's like, oh my gosh. So yeah, it ruined my proposal. So at that point, I was like, I have to put some type of guardrail. So when I'm at a dinner or something, I'll text my clients, be like, I'm heading into a dinner. I'll be able to talk in about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I'll put my phone on do not disturb. If an agent texts me, call me immediately. What is that immediate? Seriously, what is that immediate? Unless someone's dying, nothing is that immediate to where I have to call you. If I'm heading into doing something, I do not want anything to take up my mental space that's going to put me in an upset mood. So I think those are kind of some of those guardrails I put up. And then now I tell all of my clients I work from 8 to 8, Monday through Saturday. Do I abide by those rules? No. I was working till 10:30 last night. But I just tell my clients, I'm not going to be talking about windows ages with you on a house that we're seeing tomorrow at 10 o'clock the night before. If we're writing an offer, if time is of the essence, if there's a deadline, I will get it taken care of. But I'm not hanging out with you after 8 o'clock, just chit-chatting. We're not doing that. So, and then I do try to take Sundays off, although the market's just crazy. I do let all of my clients know that I try to take Sundays off unless something is time pressured. And they've respected that, honestly. I've had one client fire me over it.
I feel like if you're really upfront with people and just let them know, like you said, it's different if you just are gone for 3 hours and they're like, what is going on?
You know what? So that's a big thing that you say, because I used to think I don't want to let them know that I have boundaries. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I heard a girl say, when you don't set an expectation, you're being disrespectful to your client because they don't know what to expect. Mm-hmm. They're expecting more than. So once I've set those expectations, people are they truly, I really thought the after 8 o'clock or no Sundays on work, would just deter people. But people are like, hey, I know it's Sunday. Don't feel like you have to get back to me today. It's just on my mind. And I'm like, thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
So I think you're right with that.
From my own standpoint, if my realtor told me hey, I'm going into a movie right now, I will answer you later. I'm be like, okay, or send you, like you said, send you something, just you don't have to answer this right now.
Yeah.
Get to me when you can.
Exactly.
So how important do you think it is for you to have a really good support system? Because I know your husband is not working for you or anything, but he does stuff with you.
Yes. Yeah. Support system in real estate. I literally don't know how I would do it without the support system I have. My dad being a business owner, my mom supporting my dad through owning a business my entire life. My brother's a business owner. I mean, I come from a big family of business owners. But then just also like I think if it wasn't for me being able to run to my dad and be like, how do I handle this situation in my business? I mean, like I don't know if I would have gotten this far. It's just like, the perseverance, and it's just like, you're going to get past this, answer the call, rip the Band-Aid off, tell him what you have to tell him and get through it. And then on the other side of it, like with Nico, my husband, I don't know how he mentally takes it, because if the roles were flipped, I don't know that we would still be together. I truly mean that. And the reason I say that is because like, he just has to go with it. And it's like, oh, we're heading to Utah. Well, I've been on the phone for 5 hours on our vacation when we're trying to do snowmobiles because I just had 2 terminations and my client's also freaking out. And I would have been emotional wreck, but he just handles it really well. He does. And he's just like, hey, And I think too, it's not like he's came in at the 5th hour. He watched me when I wasn't doing any real estate and like growing the business. And he's like, take that call. Go do that video. We have to do this, or you have to talk to this client. So I think the growth with him too, like he's just watched it grow. So I think he's kind of gotten used to the late night calls and everything, but I don't know. It's hard. I think that's something that's not talked about enough is the spouses in real estate that have to deal with it, or the kids in real estate that have to deal with, if we're out at Kings Island and my mom's on her phone all the time, I just think about things like that.
And then I know, so your husband also does a lot of your like videos and stuff too.
Yeah.
So how does he help you with that in your business? Yeah.
So he's not a videographer. He wasn't. And when I first started with real estate, I was like, hey, I want to try these videos. I'm like, just come hold my phone for me. Well, then him holding my phone for me became like, hey, I've got an idea on how to edit this. And then it became like, we got to make our quality better. And it just kept growing. And from there, he like got all the equipment and he just taught himself on YouTube. He's a full-time engineer on base. He does this on, he does it for our church. He does it for me. He does it for a couple small businesses. But we have not done videos in probably like 4 or 5 months at this point. The entire summer, we have not done any videos. And I think that that's just because like social media is changing a little bit. So like the home tour videos are not as popular. I don't think as high quality videos are popular as much. People want raw content. So recently we haven't really been like business partners, but there for a second, like that's exactly what grew my business, was him like buckling down and learning how to use quick camera equipment. Truly. I'm like, I have no clue what I'm doing. And he's like, we got to buy this. And I'm just like, here's the money. I'm trusting you. You know what I mean? So it's been good.
That. Yeah. And it sounds, so he's supportive. He has been with you since the beginning, and then has kind of grown into, like you said, your partner when you need him to step in. So.
He literally wears so many hats. I don't know how he does it. I truly don't. And like I said, I just step back and I'm like, if the roles were switched, how would I react? And I would be such a baby. And he just handles it. He handles my emotions. He handles when I'm angry about real estate and I'm bitter, and he watches me. We'll be out and I'm social butterfly talking to everybody and all extroverted. And then when I get with him, I just don't want to talk. And it's like, how fair is that?
Yeah.
And he knows that I'm just like, my social battery depletes at some point. So yeah, he does. He's so supportive. I can't rave about him enough, but yeah. So
I love that.
Yeah.
And I love how you also brought up about social media, because I'm seeing the same things on mine and on the business here as well. It is very much like raw footage kind of slapped together.
Yeah.
And that's what's performing the best now.
People just want like that authentic you. And, we did this really cool Tana video where I get out of the car and I had like a limo pull up, and it was an AI limo. We had like fake people in the basement. It was just this whole thing where AI was heavily included.
Yeah.
It was a really high quality video. In the performance on it, it was good. It wasn't bad. But then the performance on me just like yapping to my camera in my car skyrockets. And Nico's like, I am so angry. I'm like, I get it. So, because, he spent 10 hours on that video. But yeah, truly, I just think people are like, I'm done with the polished. I'm done with, we get to see so many ads. It's just like, scroll past it. I just, I want to see you crying in your car. That's truly what people want right now, I think.
No, I would agree. So,
Yeah.
So for people that are just starting out on social media or dabbling a little bit, what kind of tips do you have?
Yeah. So when I first started real estate, I was posting 3 times a week, and I grew my entire business on home tour videos and things to do in the area. I was selling the area, and I think at that time, people were, like, sending newsletters out with, like, things to do, but people weren't doing videos, and I was doing videos and not just, like, throwing up a quick screenshot. I was, like, going to the coffee shop and filming the coffee shop in person. So I would drive to, like, 7 coffee shops and show them all. And I think, like, I was putting together a good video, and simultaneously with, like, I had a little bit of clickbait too, because, like, it was my first video to really blow up. It was the top 5 coffee shops in the Dayton area, and I specifically left out one of the biggest coffee shops in, like, downtown Dayton on purpose.
Yep.
And everyone's like, she doesn't know what she's talking about. Well, when you get comments like that, you're doing something right. They're enhancing your algorithm.
Yep.
But yeah, that was all planned. And that one, like, I think truly I gained like thousands of followers that day. But yeah, that's my tip for new agents, is just to really talk about, like, the things you know in the area. If you love Yellow Springs, show us everything about Yellow Springs. Show us the hidden gems. Show us the bars that you go to, the coffee shops you go to. I think that's my biggest tip. And then with the raw footage, I would just be like, sitting at this open house, no one's came. This sucks. You know what I mean? Just, like, showing the true side of real estate.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think that's really important. And I think that people feel like they have to showcase professionalism all the time.
Yeah.
And for them, that means kind of not being
themselves.
In my eyes, like, human.
Yes.
Almost. Like, and I'm like, you're not a robot.
Yeah.
People come onto social media to learn your personality. That's the whole reason why they're there and why they want to work with you.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's truly it. And I get those questions like, well, what's your tip? Or what's the video you did? Like, did this lead come from this video? Like, it does not correlate like that. The entire thing is, if you look at my social media, I am just showing myself. And no one is that, I don't want to say no one, but no one else is doing, like, it's just me. You know what I mean? I'm not selling you houses. I'm not selling you why you should work with me as a listing agent. I'm not telling you how good of an agent I am. I'm just doing my day-to-day life, and people are learning, like, who I am, and that they're like, I feel like I already know you.
Yeah.
And that's what my clients say to me when they meet me. They're like, I feel like I already know you, and we just met the first time, because they've been into my life for as long as they've been following me. And that's the secret, that is the secret right there. That's the tip. I've never gotten a video lead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, I love that. And I bring that up on all the social media trainings that I do. I love to bring you up as an example of
thank
that.
you.
And I'm just like, Morgan is the same person on social media as when she walks through the door.
I appreciate that. I really do.
It is really true, though.
Okay, good.
And that's what I tell other people, because they get really, I think, intimidated thinking that they have to emulate the kind of content that you make.
No, and it doesn't. No,
yeah, and I'm like, no, you don't have to be at that level. Okay. We are asking you to be yourself.
Yeah,
that's all Morgan's doing, is being herself.
Yeah,
like, if you like to knit a lot, then go and show that you're knitting.
Yeah, that's a really good point that you say that. Like, they probably, like, they get intimidated, and it's not even the level of video I do, but it's probably like my big personality or something.
Exactly.
You also don't need that. And that's a good point. I never thought of that. Like, you don't have to feel like you got to be this super extroverted, outspoken person. You could do your own thing and still just film it. That's a really good point. I never thought of that.
Yeah, I feel like people see you on social from here, not other people from here that are trying to emulate. Yeah. And they're like, she has this amazing, really outspoken personality online. And I'm like, no, that's just who she is as a person.
You go down there and talk to her.
She is, yeah. I'm like, she's not being, like, fake. It's not like the fake. Have you ever seen the fake YouTube voices?
Yes.
I'm like, it's not that. Yes. Like, where they, like, just switch it off and it's something else. Like,
you know what's funny? I got a call the other day from an agent, and she was like, or no, she messaged me, was like, hey, I have a lead for you. And she was out of a different state. And I just picked up the phone and called her. I was like, hey, this is Morgan Means with Iron Gate in the Dayton market. She's like, oh my gosh, you sound exactly like you do on the phone. I'm like, yeah. And then we're talking and I'm just like, we're just chatting it up. And she's like, I just have to say, thank you so much for being the same person online. She said, I send leads to other not influencers or real estate agents in different states all the time. And they'll get on the phone and be like, who is this? And they're just not the same person online. And I'm not trying to like, put a feather in my cap about that, but that's crazy to me. Like, what are you doing it for?
Yeah.
Like, if you're not the same person, I don't understand.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's the same thing where I tell people you need to always update like your profile pictures and stuff. Like you're going to meet these people in real life. Like they need to know who you are.
Yeah, they're not going to recognize you. They're going to be like 20 years ago.
That kills me every time when I see that, or like an AI photo or something. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You're going to this person's house tomorrow.
Yes. They're going to know you have wrinkles now. That makes me think my profile picture is probably like 4 to 5 years old. I gotta update that. It's like such a cute pic though. And I'm just like, oh, what am I gonna put it to?
My ideas and the next newsletter, I'm gonna talk about the difference, because I think a lot of people hear photography, especially agents, and they just think of like a headshot. And there's such a big difference between a professional headshot and like a branding session where you can go into like a house and actually get some photos done, and then maybe you use that on social media with like some text overlay, or it's like your cover images or something. Like you can do one branding session and that could last you through 2 months of content.
So I just did a branding shoot. And someone's like, didn't you just do this? I'm like, you don't know. I post on social media all the time. Like, I always need photos. I did branding in my car, a branding shoot in my car, like sitting in my back seat on my computer, or I'm like holding a coffee cup and driving, because that's what I look like on the daily.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I do not want a headshot. I mean, we have to have a headshot for different things, but like, yeah, like that's another tidbit of like just like a peek into your life. Or like Morgan and I were sitting at a coffee shop working. That's what we do all the time. So like the photographer took it from a distance, and it's like we're sitting here like, talking. And yeah, I love that. That is so big. It's not because you're literally building a personal brand.
Yes.
And that's another thing I just like think about. People always ask me, so should I like start my real estate page separate from like my personal page on Instagram? I'm like, so when you do real estate, are you going to act different than you are as a person? Or when you're out at dinner and someone says, hey, I want to buy a house, you're going to be like, sorry, I'm like Morgan, like off clock right now. I can't help you with that conversation. No, it's one person. It's one brand. It's who you are. People know I'm loud. People know I'm outspoken. People know I cry a lot. You know what I mean? Like it all goes together. And I'm not just like putting this like shell on to be a realtor. Nobody wants that.
Talking social media with you, because there's not a ton of people. We have a handful of agents that are into it. And I think people are getting more into it now that they realize the impact it can have on your business.
Yeah.
But I can't have these kind of conversations with most agents.
Well, and when I first started too, I mean, some agents were like, oh, we tried the social media thing. Like, you're not really going to get that. I would recommend going to open houses. I would recommend, maybe buying some leads. And when you just like, no, I'm going to try it. Like, I'm still going to give it like my spin on it. I mean, you've seen my business. You know what I mean? Like, that's truly all social media, like 90% of it.
Yeah.
So.
And I think it's something that you have to enjoy. Like, there's other agents, like Megan Dwyer, for example, you brought her up. She does not like social media at all. But I feel like if you were to ask, because she's outsourced it now, if you were to ask other agents, our top social media people, she's one of the top 5. That
really?
People say.
Okay.
People always bring up you and Megan.
I did not know that.
Those are the two that people always bring up.
Well, because she's not posting.
Exactly.
Even though she hates it, she's like getting the post up. So it's working.
She's paying somebody else to do it.
Yeah.
So again, I'm like, if you don't like it, or if you don't love it, really, then you need to be outsourcing that to somebody else.
Yeah. Well, you still have to be in the videos, though. And that's like the big thing. People are like, I don't want to be in a video. Or like, it's you. What are you selling then?
Yeah.
You're selling yourself first before you sell a house. But yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, you have to pay someone to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, to edit it.
I think that's how social media is too. Like, I've struggled with social media and like, my identity being in social media and like my followers and the comments I get. So I think there's always a good and a bad side to everything. You use AI for a lot.
I do.
Don't you?
I do.
I know we're going to be talking about something after this about AI, but I know you use it a lot, and I use it for like a couple things, but I don't really implement it in my everyday life like people do. So I don't know. Part of me is like, Morgan, you gotta get on it. Everyone's doing it, But then the other side of me is like, I don't really know if I like it. I don't know.
So before we go ahead and end today, I would like to talk about Popeyes because you're like the queen of them here. So what are they?
Yeah.
How did you get started? What are your tips?
Yeah, so what a Popeye is, it's spelled Popby, 2 different words. People think I'm saying Popeyes like the chicken. I guess that was a cartoon before it was chicken. Yeah. Showing my age. Anyway, so a Popeye is basically just a small gift that I drop off to my clients' houses. And it's just another way to like stop by, say hi, a little touch point. I do themed ones, and then I'll just do like an over all of my clients get one. So some of the ones that I've done are like teachers. They all got like at the end of the school year, they all got a floaty with like an Alani drink in it, just saying like, have a great summer. And then I did a first responder one. So cops, healthcare workers, firefighters, military. I just put like a color, like it was all blue. It was like hand sanitizer, Alani, a blue granola bar. Like it was just like a cute little thing. And I just set them on people's doorstep. I used to do them all myself, but Morgan now helps me with those, just delivering them. We don't even knock. We just set it down. But people are like, oh, that's cute. That's fun. And the perk of it too is like if someone gets it and they take a picture of it and they post it on social media. First of all, it's aesthetic. It has to be aesthetic. That is always the number one thing. It can't be some thrown together thing. It's got to look cute. It got to look like something someone wants to post on social media. But when they tag me, that's a whole nother layer.
Yeah.
While I'm thinking of this, another tip I have for agents before we wrap up is instead of thinking, how do I, like, if I invest this money, will this get me a lead? Instead of thinking like that, I think in the beginning of my business, I thought more, if I invest this money, that's another layer that my name is going to be out there. That's another layer that is going to be branding me and like what I do. So stop thinking like money or investing money to a lead. Start thinking investing money to my name is now seen. Because everything I did in the beginning was my name is now seen. And then that's how it grew to leads. So, but yeah, those are my Popeyes. I try to do one like at least once a quarter. We do a Christmas one. Last year I did Christmas boxes to all of my clients, which is a lot. It's not only clients, it's sphere people. So if like you've bought or if you've referred me clients or you have shared my name, you get one. Or if you have bought or sold with me, you get one. But if I see someone use a different realtor, I will take you off the list. You're off my Popeye list. I mean, we are not investing in you anymore.
Yeah,
So
no, how often? I've never thought about that. Do you see that? Where
yeah.
You do? Okay.
I mean, not super often, but like it hurts my feelings. I'll see someone like buy a house and I'm like, did I not just drop a Popeye to your house last month? You forgot about me? But you know, sometimes someone's got a cousin, someone's got a sister, whatever. But truly, if I'm not your top person then we can't do it. And it could be one of my closest friends. But if every person comes to them and you refer them to your sister, that's completely fine. I get it. I'm not hurt, but you're not getting a Popeye from me.
Yeah, I get that.
It's just business.
Yeah.
So, it's just business.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I love
that.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on today.
I feel like I talked your ear off.
Oh, no, it was so much fun.
Okay, good. Good.